Jax is back. Hope you're all doing well. Still in the month of April here and just sludging through the pandemic. I'm home today because I work 2 days a week in the office. And I just have to share with you, because you've learned in my previous podcast that I have dubbed myself a person who has attention deficit disorder. This is how my day started out this morning. It was fine. Get up, have some coffee, and then it goes into, all right, I'm going to clean the kitchen. I'm going to take the curtains off of the rods in my bedroom, and I'm going to wash those. Wait a minute. I have to take the trash out. Hold on. I know it sounds like multitasking, but to me, it's one project after another. So then while I was in the closet putting away some ceramic Easter eggs, I decided, oh, look, there's a sushi kit. And of course, I pulled the sushi kit out and I realized, wait a minute, I don't have any of the seafood that I need. I only have the rice and some of the things that go with the kit. So forget that. So then I decided to put some turkey in a crock pot, which led me to moving into the kitchen, and I wanted to clean out the fan, which led to, no, wait a minute, I have to do something else with the dogs, like take them outside or go for a walk, or I'm not sure what. And then the FedEx guy came, and then I turned the TV on, and then I saw one of my favorite people. It happens to be a very familiar face that we're all seeing. And she's on most channels. She is our Pennsylvania Health Secretary, Harvard-educated physician who's also a professor of pediatrics and psychiatry at Penn State College of Medicine. Did you at any point hear me introduce Rachel Levine as someone who is transgender? No, because to me, it doesn't matter. And for as crazy as this world is, can I ask the one question? Why should someone's sexuality bother you? It obviously is. Because everywhere I turn, I'm seeing on Facebook, in magazines, in the newspaper, you're not seeing Pennsylvania Health Secretary. It always has to be transgender Rachel Levine. I'm not buying it. But where this whole podcast is going to go is judging other people. And you will find that those people who are judging not just someone's sexuality are bitter people. And bitter people will make you suffer. They wade in their self-pity. They find ways to get back at other people. They look for a fight. They drown in resentment. They're consumed in their own issues and find ways to get back at other people. And they need to stop dwelling and retelling. They need to make peace with their own past. And I guess I shouldn't always bring up things that are so personal in my world. And I'm not saying that I'm a bitter person now. Could I be? Of course I can. Was I? Of course I was. I had my mother leave when I was 2 and my brother was 7. And it's going to have an effect on you, right? And you're angry, but you don't know why. I was too young to remember. But somehow, as life goes on, you hear stories. You don't know who to believe. You feel a bevy of emotion, and you don't know what to do with that emotion. And not a lot of people believed in talking it out. In my world and in my family and in the way I grew up, you just sucked it up and kept it all inside. So there are many reasons why people can be bitter. They're suffering with their own misery. But let's go back to Rachel Levine. How about we judge her qualifications? Because I love her daily briefings and her advice and, of course, all of the information that she has to offer. So what do we do? What do we do with those people whose posts that we see, the different memes that are going around or the different headlines that we're seeing? You can ignore them. But God forbid that their son or daughter or their grandchild, better yet, comes to them one day and says, I'm gay. Or how about Craig comes to visit at Christmas time and he's suddenly Kristen in a beautiful dress. People need to understand that they have to watch their words, their Facebook post. They're heartless and hurtful. We shouldn't be judging people's sexuality, not just Rachel Levine, anyone's sexuality. And I know that everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and this is mine. So I draw the line when people hurt people for no good reason. Another thing that I tend to think of is when I was growing up, and we all probably have these people, or maybe you were that person. There was this girl who I remember so much. I can see her. She was so mean to me. And I had buck teeth when I was younger. I had red hair when I was younger. And I was buck tooth carrot top. The buck tooth carrot top girl. And she would call me this. And she would just be a complete snob. And I would cry. And it wouldn't do anything to her. She would just go about her business with her friends and just leave me there to cry. I'm not saying these things to make you feel sorry for me. I got over it. And she turned out to be a good person with a family of her own. But sometimes I wonder, what would you do if someone was bullying your daughter? All I can say is it's in the past. But those are things that people carry with them forever. So Dr. Levine, mean people suck. I've said many things to hurt people. You can't take it back. Your tongue is like a knife. And over the years, I've learned to step back a bit in my own life story with my anger, and I've learned how to deal with these things differently. So this is kind of like a podcast where we're talking about how people deal with things in their past and what they do with it, or how they choose to deal with things, or how they attack other people, or why they're attacking other people, or why it's any of their business why Rachel Levine is who she is. Somebody's overweight, don't call them fat, help them. Somebody has a disability, hug them. Someone chooses to be gay or transgender, support them. Is it really going to hurt you that much? There will always be mean, rude, disrespectful people. So be it. Remember, they have low self-esteem, they have personal problems. They may have learned that behavior from the environment they grew up in. There's a million different reasons for them. Just be you. And when you do see those different headlines or people making fun of Rachel Levine or looking at those posts and the harsh words against her, for some reason, I don't know why they hit my heart. But we're all human. And if we could just be a little kinder to each other, I don't know what the harm in all of that is. Because someday, one day, those people are going to know someone extremely close to them who isn't who they were when they were born, if that makes sense to you. So just slow down a little bit. And I guess we have to ignore what we see and how we approach different people. Everyone is different. Everyone has an opinion, but everyone needs to be loved. So during this pause, I just ask that you, maybe water someone else's heart, feed someone else's heart, sprinkle a little bit of love on someone else because they need it, believe it or not. And I'm just going to continue to watch Rachel on TV, on the different news channels and read everything that I possibly can about her and her education and her past and her present. And you know what? Her hell of a future. And the things that I've learned from her, she's an amazing person. Jax is back. On a couple of the next podcasts, I'm going to see if we can step back and possibly set up a couple of interviews with different people on different topics. But I've currently spoken to Al Burke, who was the program director at Y102, which some of you may or may not remember, who recently lost his job at Magic 105.5 in Tamaqua. We're going to talk a little bit about how life has changed for him. I'm going to talk to one of my girlfriends, Tina, who actually lost her brother years ago due to drugs, and how she has dealt with changes in her life and how she has helped other people. Remember, everyone that you meet is struggling with something of their own. So be kind to others. Mean people suck.
Jax is Back is brought to you in part by Queen City Family Restaurant and Visions Federal Credit Union.